Thank you for staying with us in today's edition of Talking Points. Today, we are receiving a civil society leader, founder and president of BBF, Belinda BABILA Foundation. Dr. Belinda BABILA, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. I'm honored and privileged to be here today.
We're going to be talking about the hundreds of thousands of English-speaking Cameroonians who are now internally displaced persons, IDPs, all over the country, and some who are refugees in neighboring Nigeria. You have been constantly working with these persons, talking with them, getting to know their challenges and bringing some aid to them as well. But before that, you're based in the United States of America. What does the coming to power of a Democrat, Joe Biden, mean to you as a black in the United States after 4 years of trouble, so to speak, with the Donald Trump administration?
Well, first and foremost, I'd like to congratulate our president, Mr. Biden, and his administration. I think Africans would have a break from the very unrest and racial slur that we've had in the past years, this past 4 years. So we look forward to a more equitable social system. We look forward to favorable immigration policies for immigrants. And we look forward to having a lady as the first, well, not only lady, but the first African-American lady as a first vice president of the nation. Gives a lot of women hope, gives a lot of women aspirations, and especially to young African and African-American ladies or girls, that there's hope for everybody.
How was it living under the zero tolerance policy of Donald Trump for the past 4 years? For the black people in the United States, how was it living in this system with lots of restrictions and policies that were not favorable to the black people?
Well, from every distress comes a change. We all know that, the Black Lives Matter movements have actually brought a lot of reforms. As far as the police system, there's been some restructuring. There's reforms have been passed. There's certain, you can't choke anybody anymore. So, in as much as it was a bitter pill, but something good is coming out of it. And we all know for certain that in Biden's administration, loads and loads of the police brutality and all we've seen in 2020 would be severely elevated, and fairness and equality would return into the communities within America, and blacks and whites would begin to be on that same status quo again, hopefully.
All right, back home, let's talk about the hundreds of thousands of Cameroonians from the northwest and southwest regions who are now internally displaced persons in different parts of the country, and some refugees in neighboring Nigeria. You have been in contact with these people. You have been talking with them, discussing with them, getting to know their difficulties. What have they been telling you?
Well, from face-to-face assessment with IDPs, and we all know that coming to Douala is an economic capital, and it's not quite cheap. So lifestyle here is quite elevated compared to where they came from. So there's already shelter problem. That's the number one huge problem. Second problem is trying to assimilate into a brand new system. So they're going through job searching, or for a better word, most of them did other kind of vocational trainings. They did farming, but they're just trying to re-assimilate into the society or into the community of Douala, and it's not quite easy. So they need shelter, they need support for their kids' education, they need, most of them need to be re-empowered themselves so they can be able to find a trade somewhere, maybe farmers. So again, education, shelter, support, just global support is what I would say.
The woman, and you will certainly best understand the specific challenges of women. We heard stories of some of the women being unable not only to put food on the table, to take care of themselves in terms of hygiene, some of them becoming prostitutes because they want to have something to eat. What information do you have about this?
Well, we saw the documentary at Kwasa Kwasa where Lots of girls now have gotten into prostitution.
Have you talked with some of the girls who got into?
Well, I did, and they said the hardship is pushing them into that kind of lifestyle. But what we're proposing for them is, empowerment, learn a skill, learn a trade, and prostitution to me is not the only solution to elevating your poverty or trying to make life better for yourself. So the proposal is, what do you want to do? What do you think you can do in life? So we can, get you into that training system, be it vocational. If you think the general education is not your forte or your strength, then, we can sponsor you into learning a vocational trade whereby after you finish your training, however long it's going to take you, you can be self-sustainable. So pretty much looking at self-sustainability plans is what we're looking at, to me, these days, for the IDPs and the refugees. While you guys are displaced, find a way to, like they say, either give you lemon to make lemonade out of it. So while you guys are in distress, find a way to stay hopeful in your distressed situation by, learn a trade, find a way to readapt, reaccommodate yourself, and trying to get the right word for it, but just dust it up and wake up, because literally at the end of the day, we're all responsible for our lives, and we can only assist you become what you ought to want to become. So everybody has a role to play. The IDPs have to decide that, yes, we've been displaced, but we need to find a way to better our lives by learning a trade, by just staying purposeful and meaningful.
And to do that, many of them have to come out of the trauma that they experience in the two English-speaking regions from where they escaped the cause of gun battles, bullets passing here and there, guns, gun sounds, hearing gun sounds every day. And how has it been to take them out of that trauma? How have you been managing to take them out of that trauma to be able to get them in the right mind frame to do some of those things that you're saying?
We're talking about mental health there, because if somebody's mental health is not stable, if they're not very optimal in their mental health, then it's going to be hard for them to even want to learn anything new. I think at this point, it is a reality. Find a way to get into activities that'll get your mind off of it, because you staying in that depressed mental state is not really going to help you long run. I know it's not easy, but my take is getting them occupied with another vocational skill would slowly get their minds off the trauma that they've lived or they witnessed, or just, my take is get them busy into another activity so they can get their minds off the distress that they came from.
What about children who escape from those two regions, some of them without their parents, some of them with their parents, some of them unable to go to school, some of them unable to have clothes to put on, and all of that stuff?
I think first and foremost, since it's a priority that every child goes to school, because the leaders of tomorrow have to be educated. An uneducated leader cannot lead people, so it is primordial that the kids stay in school so they can develop their mental faculty and be ready to be leaders of tomorrow. So as far as that, what BBBF is doing under our educational platform is sponsoring kids into primary schools, especially like we have coming up 13th of February. This is the month of love. February is the month of love. BBF would collaborate with two other foundations here in Cameroon. Hopefully we're trying to just give them hope in distress. So peace concert, hygiene campaign, non-perishable food items give back, medical outreach, just to let them know that in this month of love, we still care about you guys, and to restore hope in their distress. So we are planning a love fest, February 13th. We're planning a love fest February 13th at Lycée Polyvalent in Bonneberry, and I will be doing that with the Cindy Amada Foundation. We will collaborate together and give back to IDPs come Saturday next week.
All right, the refugees in neighboring Nigeria. What about the refugees in neighboring Nigeria?
Well, we're hoping that peace returns, and so that people can really get a chance to go back to their dwellings, because as we all know, living in a strange land isn't the best, especially when you didn't go there voluntarily. You went there, circumstances got you there. It's not really easy. It's not, I mean, holistically, it's not easy. Mentally, people just left their homes, loved ones and everything. So my plea is that, peace restores, or peace returns, and that people get normalcy in lives, and then, begin to live their lives normally again. Because, like I said, nobody wants to be forced out of their homes by circumstances. So we're just, as a humanitarian, I advocate for peace and national justice. So peace is a word I have to say today.
When you talk to some of the English-speaking Cameroonians who came from the northwest and southwest regions of the country and who are in neighboring Nigeria, do they express the desire to return home, or some of them are simply said, we don't want to go there anymore?
No, absolutely. Everybody wants, they want to return home. They absolutely want to return home, but then they want to return to a peaceful environment. And you and I would agree that nobody really wants to stay overseas as a refugee in a land. But for them to come back, they have to be sure that they're coming back into a peaceful environment, so they can be able to raise their families and stay in a peaceful community.
All right, let's wrap up with a book that you published.
Yes.
I'm interested in the title of that book.
When No One Believes in You.
When no one believes in you. When no one believes in you, it turns to be something like, heaven and earth coming down on you.
Well, the book, it's an inspiration from my trajectory in life. I believe that, for you to get to where you want to get to in life, it's a choice, and you'd have to decide to work to get there, and nobody's gonna hand it to you via a spoon. There's a lot of sacrifices that you'd have to make. You'd have to be almost dead to yourself and ready to pay the price to achieve the dreams that we all aspire to achieve. So I don't believe in luck. I believe in hard work. I believe in dedication, consistency, extreme focus, determination. I believe that we all can attain whatever it is that we want to attain, as long as we set our minds to read. We're ready to focus, and there's tools that we have to retool our minds to be able to achieve those kind of dreams that we want to achieve. You'd have to be ready to pay the price.
Dr. Belinda, you know that it becomes quite difficult, quite complicated. When no one believes in you anymore, it becomes difficult to concentrate, to focus, to be determined, to be committed, and to push forward. So when no one believes in you, what should you do? You give up?
No. When no one believes in you, that's when you pick up yourself and you make people believe in you via your results that you give out.
You remain determined.
Absolutely.
Right, Dr. Belinda BABILA, civil society leader, founder and president of BBF, Belinda BABILA Foundation. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for staying with us. That's it for today. Equinoxe comes up next.